Hello, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming in and joining me. I was going to try and get on earlier, just got caught up with a few things this morning. And yeah, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. It's colder today, too. It's a little bit more chilly. And for those who are just joining me for the first time, my name is Mary June Tracy. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach. Coming to you with the 411 of the Cosmic Highway. Yeah. So, tonight, let's talk a little bit about astrology. So, I just posted up there for today. Today is what I've been speaking about for a week long is the Mercury Pluto conjunction, with both them linking the nodes of destiny and fate. And we also have tonight is the Pluto North Node trine with the mean of the North Node, or the true nodes, from the 14th to so today through Monday. So pay attention. So there's important information that you're going to be feeling coming in, communications, realizations, truth that are going to come to light. So there's a lot of strong energy of finding your truth in your light, and for inner work. So this is great for research, investigations, and so forth, and getting to the bottom of things. The Pluto trine to the North Node is showing us our path of evolution, growth, and destiny. Whew! Are we seeing that? Are we ever seeing that? But with Pluto sextile to the South Node in Scorpio, he is also showing us where we are stuck in the karmic patterns and playing out big shadow personality and collectively. So we are going through some huge transitions and changes. And these transition and changes are really looking like we're looking at wanting to get direction, wanting to go forward in a forward motion. But as there is this stuckness and this karmic pattern, that means that there's things that we have to clean up. There are parts of us that we have to release and let go. The frequencies or the codes coming into Gaia are extremely high and new. So there's new cosmic codes that are coming in and that are creating some huge changes for us at this time. We also have this activation of the US Pluto return, and this is going to be the first one of which comes next week. So we have the Pluto return that's coming in on the 20th. So this is, and I've talked about that, how that Pluto return is really going to be activating a lot of the energies of new rights and liberation and sovereignty. This is bringing in where we're finding a lot being revealed right now. And there's a yod today with the moon, so pointing us into a direction so that we can move away from our manipulation of our own ego, because our ego can manipulate us. We can get into where we get stuck. And this is coming into us finally getting on track and some direction. Now, with this is really how do I say, this weekend is going to be a highly active, maybe somewhat explosive weekend. This is a weekend that is going to be bringing us some great reveals, especially with Jupiter and Neptune. And this is also where we're going to find that as Mars gets closer to Venus, it's going through a lot of the destructions that have been happening. And that's what Pluto does. When Pluto goes into a sign, he just rips it the fuck apart, man. Since 2008, he's been in Capricorn, and he's been ripping up everything to do with our patriarchal system, with the governments, with corporations, just bringing out information, bringing out things. And then in 2017 is when Saturn went in and really erupting and bringing in so much information. And then with that Pluto-Saturn conjunction that came in, That's where we have Mars and Venus. They're going over this destruction zone. They're going over all of this dismantlement that has been happening there. And Mars has a directive. He goes, we need to get through this. And he's coming up to Venus and saying, I want to lead you out. I want to lead in a new way. I want to lead you to a new direction that is going to bring in what we want, bring in something more favorable for us all. But this is also where that karmic patterns that are playing out are really huge within our life. What is it that we constantly get stuck on within our own personal life is what we got to look at and we got to work on. And if we're not going to look at it and work on it, we're going to still be stuck there. It's not going to change any. So this is really an awakening time to awaken us to that new direction, that new outlet, and step into the stream, step into that energy, because all streams, like all roads lead to Rome, as they say, or all rivers and streams lead to the ocean. And this is where we are needing to find to get ready to get onto our road, get onto into our river. And this is for us to remember that we could be continually floating around. We could be in the same thing over and over and over again. And this is where we have to find our orbit. This is where we have to find our direction and get into our direction within our own personal selves and come in with that with light and come in with that within these frequencies and these new frequency codes that are coming in to guide us into a place of direction and health and wealth and longevity, to come into our own sovereignty, to come into our freedom. That's really where we are striking out on. We are striking out on coming into a place where we are able to look at the destruction that has happened over the past several years and look at what has been going on and see what new road we want to go on. What does that look like and what does that mean for all of us? And stick to that road. But there's a fear too that if we stick to this road, oh my God, what about them and what about them and this over here? What you'll find is that when you're on your road, you have your direction. The ones that need to be with you are going to come with you. The ones that need to come into that alignment will definitely be with you. You're not going to be on there alone. But if you're going to sit there and continue to be in that astral belt of just going along with everybody else and not finding your unique, finding who you are and going onto your orbit, that's where you're going to find destruction and depression and anxiety and feeling like, oh my God, what's wrong with me and all of that. So this is where you can't be sitting in processing and making excuses anymore. This is where you have to look at and get ready to go down your road, get ready to start moving. This is I'm going to say it's a volatile weekend. I think there's going to be a lot of craziness that's going to happen. And we're going to see this. We're going to see this. It's going to play out in front of us. It's going to play out. And as this is going to play out, we're going to find that we are going to see the distortions that are going on around, see the manipulations and lies that are going on around you, and open ourselves up to it and say, wow, I'm not falling for that anymore. I'm coming out of that matrix and I'm moving in to something new. It took 8 minutes for you to come on live. Oh my God. Really? That's crazy. And I got notifications on here that I was on right away. So that's interesting. Wow. If there's there's another TikTok going around that Ontario police are going around door to door with people who've been active on different Facebook groups and just letting them know that there's a protest, but how to protest peacefully. So they're going around to different people who've liked, or what have you, with the Facebook groups. So it's the thing is that, and this is what people have to understand. Years ago, when I was a youngster, way back when, um there was yes, seriously. I had a social studies teacher, made his name was Mr. Trenuth. Loved him. He was hilarious. Very good social studies teacher. And we were for Greenpeace, like I was involved in Greenpeace, save the whales, don't beat up on the seals. Anyways, there was a petition going around, and he says, "No, I'm not signing that." And I was like, "Okay." So afterwards, I asked him, and I said, I went in after school, and after class, whatever, and I said, "Why don't you want to sign it? Like, what does it mean to sign it?" And he said to me, he says, "Well, first of all, you got to be willing to stand and back up everything that you are signing and putting your name to, especially when it comes to a petition and when you're writing things out and putting your name out there." And I thought, oh, like, here I'm like 16, well, whatever. And he goes, "Because even though you don't think you're anybody, your name goes on a list." And that was back in the 80s. He was telling me this. And I thought, "Oh, okay." But it always stuck to me. It always, every time somebody sends me a petition, I read it. Is this really where I'm going to draw the line? Sometimes I believe in the cause 150%, but I'm not going to put my name on there because do I want to be on that list? Now, with social media, and when people tell me that, "Oh, well, I'm going over to Rumble, I'm going over to here, and I'm not going to be on, I don't want to be detected." And I thought, but Mr. Truth pops in my head. We're in a world that you cannot hide anymore. There is no hiding. If you decide to go out and you want to go off grid, you are more watched than if you were in the middle of downtown Calgary or New York or whatever. The thing is, a lady protested her interaction with Ottawa police coming to her door this morning. Yes, that was, well, I don't know if she was protesting, but she was asking questions, or maybe that, I don't know if that's the same TikTok one, but she was asking questions. Like, she was quite, this is interesting. And she was in Peterborough, I believe, Ontario. And they're monitoring, they're not only monitoring Facebook, they're monitoring your what I'm doing right now. They're on your telephone. They're on everything. Here in Canada, they what, over 30 million or whatever it was, on monitoring everybody over the Christmas holidays. This is it's there. So this is where it's like, when you are doing whatever you're doing, um it's how you're going forward with this, right? And this is very much in line with the energies that are coming in, and with the Saturn Pluto that are unfolding for us. It's getting us to really look at what is the road that you want to be on. It's not to sit there and wait for all the erosion to happen, because by that time you might be sitting on this, in the middle of a road with no road around you, because you were too afraid to move. This is where dramatic change is coming into the world. You're not going to stop it. A lot of people don't want it. They're going to hide away. And this is where we need to look at where we got to bring in the connections. What connections do you want to be with? Who do you want to be a part of? I have put my name towards the trucker convoy. Yes, I believe in freedom to 2022. I really do. I believe it's everything that I've been talking about for the last while, that it's coming in, that this is where I'm putting my direction to. This is where a lot of my energy is going to, and coming in with the astrology to show, okay, this is how things are sort of playing out. Do I know how it's going to turn out? No, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I have an idea, have a feeling about it. But with Uranus, you never know. Uranus is the game changer. He will change things on a drop of a dime. You think you're going, but he will change it. The thing is that when he changes it, you got to ask yourself, okay, what's being changed here and why? What's going on here and why? So we're seeing a lot of that's going to be happening. And I'm going to say to people, in order to make the changes, you're going to get uncomfortable. You got Just because you're going to go to the store and you're not going to find the milk, or you're not going to find something that you really love, the peanut butter, the crunchy, or what have you. This is what you got to understand. If you want the freedom, if you want to make the changes, you got to get uncomfortable. But not a lot of people will. They're gun ho. They love the party. Woohoo! Let's go in the bouncy castle. There's more to it than the bouncy castle and the party downtown. This is the boots on the ground, but what are the boots doing? They're standing for freedom. They're saying, this is what we want. We're not going to go home. One of the oppositions, said, it's time to put an end to this. Let's get together. I'm like, who's paying your fucking paycheck and where are you getting your money from? When the Ottawa mayor is worth over $20 million, you got to start taking a look at, what about our mayor of Calgary? Don't like her. I really don't like her, and I don't trust her. I don't trust the mayor of Edmonton either. They get money from other places. That's the thing, is that's when we have to awaken and say, hey, we voted for you. You have to work for us. That's the way it works, right? Well, this is all a big wake-up call. This is coming in, and this is the erosion to clear things out. And that's when we go on our road. We go on our road because we're clearing out all of the craziness that has been there. There's two types of erosion. You can sit there and wait for the erosion to happen all around you, and then you get stuck. Or you can take and say, this is where I'm going to go. And you can help to create the new orbit, to create the new energies that you want to be seeing. Now, the shortages to get to where we are wanting to go is really important. It's really important to understand that and get yourself into a place where, I've been saying, make sure you got it right and stock up as much as you can. The other thing is that a lot of people have been sending me that stuff on with the German International Court. There is no world court right now, an FYI to people. There are a bunch of lawyers in front of a camera saying what they have to say. Very smart people, especially the one guy, I think he's Dutch. But there's no international court until after a war. There's no judge there. There's no judges that have been appointed. So what are they preparing for? That's the other question. And I looked at it and I thought it was weird. And I'm like, well, what international court? What is this international court? Like, I don't get it. Who are they putting on trial? Because you can't just grab somebody and just sort of kind of put them on trial, sort of thing, unless there's been an act of war. Sorry, my hair has just gone crazy. So I found that very interesting with all of that. And I found that, with a lot of energies that are coming up, how things are starting, little things are starting to light up on the board. And as they light up on the board, this is still where you need to continue on your road and continue in that light throughout this activation. Things that are going to happen, I think this weekend there's the Super Bowl. I know there's something crazy that's going to happen there. I know the truckers have already said that they're going to send a convoy to the Super Bowl. Well, why not? It'll get more views than the Winter Olympics, which is another subject I'm going to touch on in a moment. So something is going to happen there. Something crazy is going to happen there on those with that Super Bowl. I don't know what. I don't know if it's going to be an earthquake. I don't know. There's something, I feel like there's going to be something crazy that's going to go on there, and how that looks or something. Who knows? But this is where so much here. There's so much I want to cover here. There's just so much information that I received that is just okay. Okay. Okay, let me go through some of the questions that have been coming in. I've been getting people asking me, "What about war? What about war? What about war?" I'm like, "Okay. We know that energy's in the air. Okay? It's even in the astrology there is that war mongly energy. Where the Olympics are right now, they're in China and they're kind of fucked up Olympics. People are being, I saw one picture that everything looked like really good food, and then I saw another picture that the food is shit. I don't know. But there's athletes that have been being put into camps because they have COVID or they have a sniffly nose and they're missing their runs. Um, that for getting their medals and stuff like that, or trying out to get the medals. So there's weirdness that is happening there. That coincides with the 1936 Olympics that was in Berlin, which was very weird as well. And that 1936 Olympics was just as they were doing the Austria thing, Poland and everything in the invasion there. There was supposed to be Olympics 4 years later, but that was supposed to be in 1940 was supposed to be the Summer Olympics in Japan. Didn't happen. And Japan invaded China in 1940. So a little bit of correlation with energies that are going on there. Now, right now, at the end of 1920, Putin came out with a speech and he said that I'm putting troops all along my border, which he's totally allowed to do. He could do that. That's his country. And we're going to do military exercises. And that's what he's doing. He did not say that he's going to invade Ukraine. He has not said, but he's on the border there. He's on the border. Now there's that whole NATO thing, and I'm not, the United States I know was not supposed to join NATO at the time. And they when NATO was formed, and they weren't supposed to join, but they ended up getting involved with it. And the one thing about Ukraine is that they were asked, to dismantle their um nuclear weapons, and that the United States would, if anything ever happened, they would be and to back them up. So, hence here comes Great Britain and here comes the United States into the Ukraine because they have Russia on the borders doing military not action, but they're just practices. So we have that's going on. Now, I know kind of Biden, God bless him, mentioned something about war and about the war and started saying things more about war. Now, the thing is that as a nation, I don't know if the United States is ready to take action, on war and have Biden at the helm. Just saying, he's not well, but he has called out for people to um, all people to start to leave the Ukraine. So there's that. So we have that tension going on. The other thing is that Biden has talked to our prime minister, plus the governor of the governor of Michigan, have also said that they will help to remove truckers on Canadian soil from the border, and if they want to take military actions. So so the Americans are saying to the Canadians, "We'll come in and help you, and if you want these guys moved, just put that in the hat." Put that in the hat. So to come in and move peaceful protesters, as that's what they're doing. Now, these guys are highly organized protesters. The truckers are very organized. They thought this through. They've thought of every single angle. They have um security and everything details that are all out, that are looking into things, but they're doing it very peacefully and legally, per se. So there's all of that. That's all part of the rumble, the everything that Pluto has brought up. And here we are, we're having to clean it up. We're having to take a look at it. We're having to look at things in a deeper, more active way. And this is part of the awakening. This is part of us starting to really take a look. Yeah, it's scary. It is scary and it's change. But the thing is that if we stay within the frequencies, the change can bring in a lot of good. And a lot, if we're going to look into trade, like different types of trade or different types where we're able to have all the countries grow in very beautiful ways, it can happen. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take where we are going to have to really look at things in new ways. And new regulations and laws and rules have to come into place. Meaning, one, just because they lifted up the mandates doesn't mean they can't bring them back in, because they haven't lifted up the state of emergency. They got to take that off the board. And that's why they're asking for everything to be, all mandates done and not be re-invoked. So they have to take out the state of emergency. And there's other things that are coming to light, with our prime minister and with the government, that needs to be looked at. And here we are at a time of huge change and transitioning within our world. And the awakening means that just because you're a light worker doesn't mean that you're a puppy and you're soft and cuddly. You might be soft and cuddly, but being a spiritual warrior means that you are standing up. You're standing up for the peace and the justice for all. You're standing up with love and non-judgment. You may not like what they say. You may not like what they look like or whatever it is, but you're standing up for it. Some things, with certain people, with certain nationalities, I have issues with. But you know what? If that person's a really good person, that person is a really loving, I'm going to stand with them and I'm going to help fight for them. That's the difference. I may not like some of their traditions or something like that, but when it comes to standing up for their liberties and rights and their sovereignty, damn fucking rights, I'm going to stand up for them. Doesn't matter what color, creed, or anything else. That's what it's about. And why is it becoming a global thing? Why is it a global thing? It's a global thing because you look around, people are fucking tired of the bullshit. The persecution, not being, today's the last day my grandson doesn't wear a mask. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Nor should he have been wearing a mask. He's got enough shit going on with him. Like he does. He's got a lot of crap for a little 6-year-old having to go through some real crazy shit in his life. He's too young to be going through that. But it's part of his look at his chart. It was godchild. Of course, you join this family because you got to get rid of a lot of your shit from past lives. But this is, here he's going to have the support system that's going to help him, which is great. But this is where we have to look at what's going on in the world and really stand up. Do you think Putin and China want a world order? Fuck no. They don't want to, they want to rule their own country. They don't want you ruling it. They don't want to have anything to do with that. They want their own. So this is what we have to look at and really step back and take whatever prejudices that you have and put them aside for a moment and look at some of the facts that are going on. That's the other thing when it comes to the government. Next on my agenda, Heather Mcdonald. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a comedian who dropped during her comedy session that she was doing, her stand-up comedy. And as she was doing her stand-up comedy, she was mocking at people who were not vaccinated, and she's double vaxxed. I think she was boosted or whatever. And that she goes, well, God must love her because she's been all over the world and she's done all this, so God's on her side. Next thing you know, she dropped, literally dropped. She passed out right there. She just and has a huge concussion and stuff. And now she has some other other heart issues coming in, which is interesting. Another comedian was doing the same thing, and she's having some issues as well. So these things are coming to light. The funny thing is, and this is where when you start sort of watching how things are coming out about HIV, a shot for HIV is coming out, and tests. I mentioned about the protein cells, or the T cells that are in there, something to do with HIV, and that they use the HIV in it. And now they're coming out with some of the testing for this. But this is part of the like the bacteria of some of the STDs that are dormant within the system. And that with this is more of, with your autoimmune system going down, they're going to start to be activated, to my understanding. And this is, very much a bio weapon, that thing. So this is a thing about defending this. It's a spike protein. So looking at the spike protein, because part of the spike protein, to my understanding, and it's, I've looked at different information that's been out there, came from part of the spike protein from HIV, and using it within the RNA shot. So I found that interesting. That's coming in, and that all of the companies like Pfizer, Moderna started buying up small companies. They bought up one in Ontario that have been working on heart medication and new ways of working with people with different heart conditions and chronic heart conditions. And some of the heart conditions that they were working on with some of the new products that they were coming out with have to do with the side effects that are coming out with the elixir. And all of these little companies were being bought up. So I found that interesting. With that, and that's coming to light right now. And the other thing is that they're now, and this was in one of the women's magazines, where it's called broken heart syndrome with women, and it's becoming a bigger thing. And it's like it is a heart attack, but it's caused by stress, and a lot of stresses that women take on. And we know that women hold everything dearly into their heart, so they have a different heart conditions in that, and finding more heart conditions in women. And now the equivalent of heart attacks is almost the same as men within women right now. So, and that's been coming out more and more in the last couple years. So that was interesting. So this is information that's out there. The other thing is that the new pill that Pfizer and Moderna are wanting for you to take, the antiviral pill, has an antidepressant in it called fluoxamine. It's an antidepressant, and they have that in there to help to calm you down, so you're not so stressed out. So there is this antidepressant in there within the new viral pill that's coming out. So I'm finding this all interesting. It's like almost where it's like, take this pill, you'll be dependent on it for the rest of your life, and you be dormant. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The thing is that they want to take your dopamine and really drop it down. What and when you have a president in the United States that wants to make crack pipes, everybody get a crack pipe. So I find that, it's like, okay, so you're going to push it instead of trying to heal it or work with it in a different way. You just want to give everybody a crack pipe. So the changes that are coming in, this is all part of the rubble. This is all part of the dismantlement. Crazy shit is going to come out, and we're just going to be like, that makes no sense. But that's okay. That's okay. Because there's also the high frequencies that are coming in. Dummy everybody down. Absolutely. That's exactly it, especially with some of the antidepressants. Now, the one thing is the damage or something now they're finding with coronavirus and the Omicron, that there has been different things happening within the brain from having it too. So people have been finding that they're having other issues when it comes to problems, either depression and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's, and it's just there's just so much. There's just so much that's there. And then I'm looking over here and I'm just like, but there's just this great light, a ball of light that's coming in, that we need to really trust in this light, and these taking the small steps that we need to make the changes on our road. And as we make the changes on our road, this is allowing for these new codes to come in, the new codes to come in. Archer Love. So anybody, I know Declan was on here. I don't know if she still is, but Raylene, who do my meditation in the morning. Archer Love is from Texas, and he does elixirs. I'm not sure how much they are, or if he can ship to Canada or not, but there is he does some really fabulous ones to help you and help to boost the immune system and everything. And all of his stuff is that he uses sacred geometry and all of his stuff. Um, Absolutely fabulous guy. Pull him up here. Oops. There we go. That's Archer Love. So that's who he is. Absolutely fabulous. Very positive attitude guy. Um, his now alchemy, it's called, that he uses, has had really great, he's pretty, results for a lot of people, especially those with autoimmune disorders and stuff, and just boosting the immune system with it. So anyways, that's him. He uses a lot of sacred geometry and stuff within his work, um, which I found very, very cool. And the other, which is from the UK, I'm going to have to go back into my notes, were a couple places that use new types of light frequencies coming in, and really help to use the light frequencies for healing for people, and using that. So there's a lot of beautiful advancements that are coming in for people, and to help them and aid them. And I'm just going to say that, if for people who actually need antidepressants and medication, definitely don't go off them. If you need something, I mean, a lot of us do need that, because of a lot of the changes. If you need your heart medication, definitely use your heart medication, right? But always do your due diligence with that. I have, you know some, because his brain just goes crazy, but he has to be on Ativan every day. He's been taking it for about 6-7 years, something like that, and he's on something else too. But if he doesn't take that, then he's just like twitching and just his brain, and he will self-medicate in negative ways. So that's the other thing. So um and he goes to therapy, goes to see a psychologist. So that's the thing, is that when we're doing things or making changes in our life, it's important to get counseling. It is important to make sure that you are able to and that's why I have I my spirit I do spiritual coaching. So that's why I have the bundles on my website that you can do 3, 6, or 9, and you can do the bundles. And in those bundles, then we can set you up, or do it when you need, so that you're able to help you along your road. So I do bundles that are up on my website, and um, I encourage people when they get the bundles to, begin to book in. Let's begin to continue this on. And sometimes it's just a chat. Of course, my reading comes in, intuition comes in and stuff like that with it too, and help to give you as much aid as I can upon your road. And I have clients that use, I'm their spiritual guide, and they have their psychiatrist too. And they one of them are like, "Oh my god, that's what my psychiatrist has been saying too." So, finding a balance in it all, as well. So that find that pretty interesting. So this is, we can't do this alone. We need one another. We need our communities, and and finding that support is very, very important upon our road at this time. So my loves, I'm going to send you guys out with so much love today, and I want you to shine and be those beautiful, and they just said, be those beautiful rainbow spectrums. Be those beautiful rainbow spectrums. That's beautiful. Thank you. Be those beautiful rainbow spectrums, and allow yourself to shine with all your beauty and dignity of who you are, and stand in your grace. So may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say, and all that you be, and all that you do. Blessed be everybody, and have a fabulous Friday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.